Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Mostly. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah, yeah. I know. Okay, now, um, okay, the title is Listen, Read, Discuss Strategy. So in your literature review, you discuss, you explain LRD in two ways. So the first one, you said that uh, LRD is kind of learning strategy, but then in another paragraph, you said a teaching strategy. So what do you think that LRD is actually? Is it teaching strategy or learning strategy? So teaching strategy. But by definition, can you talk about by definition? What is uh, LRD by definition? Listen to whom? About the text or about something else? But you said that prior knowledge about the text. If, for example, the teacher is explaining the text, so this is not prior knowledge. So you mentioned, I don't know, is it? Uh, and also, if, for example, the teacher is explaining the text, I think this is very common because the teacher perhaps always, almost always perhaps, give some explanation, short explanation about what the text is all about. It can give a general overview before the student really get into details, when they are reading. So I think this is just a normal step in teaching that the teacher gives some overview of the text. What do you think? Yeah, the infographic is just the strategy to give. Um, the teacher can use anything actually, but what matters here is whether the explanation, short overview of what the teacher is presenting about the text or is actually beyond the text. I think that's important because if, for example, the teacher is presenting about the text, then why do you think that listen, read, and respond is, is good? Yeah. Why? Because wait a minute. Because in general rules, if we are talking about constructivism, if we are talking about the active learning, something like that, the teacher should not give the material. The teacher may or can provide like probing activities, or if we are using the probing questions or some kind of prior knowledge that we say, that's a really good one. Yeah. But if we talk about prior knowledge, meaning that we are not talking about the question, we are giving some information that could be relevant to the text. Yeah. Or it also can be the information that becomes, you know, trigger the curiosity of the student because the student want to know more. So that's why they have to read carefully. But if, for example, the teacher gives like infographic about the text, so I think that's something like the teacher already gives the clues, the answer or the strategy. So then there is no longer challenges for students because that's already provided by teacher. And that's not a good practice in teaching today. Now, therefore, I think in general, the proposal is already fine, but I want to give you some idea in that specific way. Uh, was that? LRD. Yeah, I really want to give you some ideas about that. I when I look at your explanation about LRD, I don't see that like how it is. Here on page 13, 14 in my file. Here you give the procedure of teaching using these, yeah. Reactivity, teacher greets the student with a gift, brainstorming, teacher stimulates the student curiosity, as I told you before, yeah. Facilitating the task, teacher inform the class that teacher will presentation will cover the detail of the material. That's not a good one. But they will need to read to discover what question this detail answer. Now, in proposal, you don't need to, for example, put the statement like teacher greet the student. No need. You have to include what you need to, for example, the teacher give brainstorming. Now, yes, but we want to know what kind of activity is the brainstorming. What is it? What do you mean by that? I think that's more important to be mentioned in the proposal. For example, teacher gives brainstorming. So what? What do you think? What do you think that the teacher will do in order to brainstorm the student? Hmm? Wait a minute. So you are teaching narrative text, and then the teacher gives video about narrative text or the example of narrative text. The example, okay. All right. So the short video about example of narrative text. Okay. Then, mm, so is the video? I mean, is it is it the narrative, the example of narrative text is the example, or I mean, the teacher present the material. I mean, the video is very similar or exactly the same. So, when the teacher needs to explain the what's that, the narrative text, a teacher needs to give example, right? Now, but usually that video is presented in the middle of the process, not at the beginning as the brainstorming. Now, my question is that, are you going to give different kind of video, but the function is similar, or it is actually exactly the same? You know? Yeah, exactly the same. So, I mean, the video for brainstorming is the same as the video that you want. Oh, no, video for brainstorming is different from yeah, that's my question. But you say you said the same. Yeah, that's what I want to confirm. Because brainstorming is actually something like the prior knowledge, but this is relevant, related, yeah, related to the material that you are going to discuss or to present. Brainstorming can be totally different from the focus of that meeting, but still handy, yeah, to give students like uh, curiosity to know more about something, yeah, and that skill and also that knowledge, short knowledge, is also still useful, in order to help students understand the material. So that's brainstorming. Yeah. Do not have the same video. Yeah. Because if you use the same video, it is no longer brainstorming. You already started the material in the very beginning step. Yeah. All right. The teacher stimulate curiosity by now you said here stimulates curiosity. How the teacher use or do that? Mm. That's how to listen. No, no, I don't think. Ah, that's the way you put. I mean, that's the way you try to make student curious. Yeah. All right. Yes. Meaning that you combine this into one. Now, why I have to get detailed in this one? Because your research is classroom action research. Yeah, this is really the core of classroom action research. If you are talking about the research, I mean the teaching procedure. But my point is actually the next one, the wheels activity. Uh, I mean, at glance, I don't see the process of LRD. First, teacher present information, then give reading, give student Reading should be specific reading. It is not okay, student reading. Don't you have specific ways or because this is research, this is not just simple giving student reading text and ask them to read. It should be some perhaps modification or some ideas how to read or uh, some other instruction perhaps that's to ask the student to do things, not only read. Because if you said that, okay, read, so then the student only read without any specific purpose, right? Now, but actually what I'm asking is that that's that's actually the definition of L or D. What we mean by L, what we mean by R, and what we mean by D. So in the literature review, you have to be specific because LRD becomes the technique. This is not simple uh, activities. Listening is common thing. Reading also common thing in classroom activities. Also the same is discussion. If you define this only simple thing like that, so this is not classroom activities. Classroom activities should be different, should be unique because that's called action. Action meaning that certain activity that we design by purpose. It is not just by random we ask them to do that because once again I said that listening, reading, and discussion are just common activities. Now, on top of your head, what do you think is listening? What is the purpose of listening? How listening should be presented? What the students are going to use to do? I mean, during that session. Yeah. Mhm. You yes. Mm. Okay. Where did you get LRD? You read something? You say? Do you get the sufficient explanation about LRD? Oh yeah, the central. Um, okay. Itu publishernya apa? Or maybe you can share the link with me so that I can help you with that. I hope. All right. So once again, yeah, I think that's your. I mean, you really need to be specific about this. Yeah. I mean, to be informatif, specific. To be informatif about LRD. Jadi definisinya bukan hal yang biasa-biasa saja, karena listening, reading, discussion itu adalah kegiatan perkuliahan atau sekolah yang biasa lah dipraktikkan. Lalu kita ini jadikan action. Action itu sekali lagi adalah kegiatan mengajar yang memang sudah dipikirkan berbagai halnya dan kita kita menganggapnya kegiatan itu LRD itu adalah solusi dari masalah. Hanya kita harus punya unique tadi saya bilang unique activities inside. What you mean by listening? I believe that if it is really one kind of the teaching strategy and also the student strategy, I believe that there are details ya in listening itu harusnya apa yang dilakukan gitu ya yang membuat ini benar-benar menjadi sebuah penggabungan listening, reading dan discussion itu menjadi sebuah teknik mengajar yang unik. Nah, kamu harus hati-hati menyampaikannya ketika prosedur. Saya kira ini sudah bagus ya dan tidak sering mahasiswa melupakan ini dalam proposal-proposal itu mereka punya teknik atau uh, metode mengajar, tetapi dalam proposalnya tidak dijelaskan sama sekali. Nah, you have made already try, yeah, an effort to explain this, but I think you need to do more about this because that's the central of your proposal actually. Now, when, for example, if I am your examiner, for example, or the reader of your proposal. So the first thing that I'm looking at is this section, how you define already, because that's become the central of your topic. Yeah? It is stated in your title, so we want to know the exact meaning of what you mean by LMD. All right, let's move on to the research proposal. Prosedur, oke. Ini kan kalau kalau Anda di apa di proposal ini seperti ini, berarti di literature review tidak perlu lagi. Di literature review mungkin kamu hanya berargumen saja secara teoritis ya, tentang itu. Nanti prosedurnya seperti ini ya, tapi remove the common activities ya, seperti greeting tadi itu ya, greeting tidak perlu lagi disebut itu karena itu bukan bagian daripada LRD. Yang LRD itu benar-benar R&D-nya gitu. Nah, yang common activities in the classroom tidak perlu dimasukkan. Oke, okay. Is it subject? Okay. There's not 100%. Ya, kalau yang field note sama teknik gimana? Cara menganalisnya seperti apa? Hmm. Including the field note. Hmm. I mean that information, what I going to use that information in your research and later for your report. Uh-huh. So in that way, so you have to explain in your data analysis. Um, I think uh, at least you mentioned like what you just said. The data, for example, the data from field nodes and observation checklist will give some more descriptive data or something like that will be used to situate, ya, to give the situation how this happened. Jadi nggak perlu pakai kualitatif data analisis lah. Karena itu kan bakalan cuma sedikit ya. Sedikit aja datanya. Jadi uh, tapi harus disebut gitu bahwa data itu akan digunakan untuk apa gitu. Itu harus disebut. Okay, okay, I think basically that's what I can share for your proposal. Do you have any questions? The book source. Jadi kamu dapat itu dari artikel gitu kan? Apa tidak bisa dibaca di Google Book? Nah, mungkin di bagian-bagian pentingnya itu bisa dibaca. Ya kalau memang sudah hopeless kan, ya, kita ya kita coba. Nanti saya coba kalau memang kalau dari misalkan dari Springer, dari Routledge itu saya masih punya bisa akses, bisa download dulu. Mudah-mudahan. Alright, so that's all. Then you can close your presentation.